In the hustle and bustle of the video game world, sometimes it's best to step back, take a deep breath, and relax with a brand new adventure. Song of the Deep is a fine example of a well-rounded and inspiring story to calm your itchy trigger finger for a few days without breaking the bank. This is the storybook fairy tale fantasy of a young girl named Marin. It's just her and her father, and she's glued to him, awaiting his return from sea every day with a lone candle. Sure enough, one night he doesn't come back. Her father is a fisherman, apparently for the deadliest catch, and gets lost at sea with poor Marin fruitlessly awaiting his return. She has a vision of her father's location deep under the ocean, so she wastes no time. Marin is a seafaring gal, so she quickly collects any scrap she can find to build a humble submarine with one goal: rescue her father. Marin's father spun tales of fantastical beasts that lived under the sea, and now she was going to come face to face with these creatures. Song of the Deep is an adventure puzzle game that keeps you engaged in gameplay, navigating around in your submarine, fighting enemies, and collecting treasure. There is little help from the game in directing you through the adventure, only a map where X marks the spot of your next destination. How you get there is up to your problem-solving skills. Truthfully, the game reminds me of the Insomniac games of old, such as Spyro the Dragon, where although you were confined to a map, you wandered around relatively aimlessly, trying to collect enough dragon eggs or treasure to advance to the next level. The downside to the lack of hand-holding and level progression throughout the Song of the Deep is the same reason. There's no help in how to get past a wall or strong current until you have that magical aha moment. Great for making you feel completely inept, and holds lackluster satisfaction when you actually reach the next save point. In your tiny submarine, you have a very particular set of skills. One weapon, a handy little grabby claw, and boost that makes you boost. I hope you weren't expecting to have a range of abilities down there against your storybook monsters, because you're just a little girl, for goodness sakes. The game has you collect treasure that you can use to upgrade your little vessel, but it's not as helpful as you think. Extend the reach of your claw, increase the power of your boost. Anything else? No? Oh, okay. What makes it more frustrating is that the cost of the upgrades is disproportionate to the amount of treasure you actually find. Silver and gold coins are littered throughout the main path, while pearls and small statues, worth more, are hidden, but still only worth a drop in the upgrade bucket. In fact, if you progress through the level prematurely and don't pick up all of the treasure in that section of the map you can't return to, you might as well kiss those upgrades goodbye. Granted, you do have the ability to shoot tine torpedoes at stone barriers and even exit the submarine to access hard-to-reach places, but that comes after playing for a considerable length of time. Although she can breathe underwater thanks to a magical suit and shell, Marin only has a shorter claw attachment to pick up objects when out of the submarine, adding little value to the gameplay overall. The enemies, shockingly, are not the mystical beasts Marin's father warned her about during her bedtime stories. Jellyfish, urchins, crabs, other crabs, all with pretty vanilla fighting styles. Some shoot spikes, some have electricity, while others try to ram you. Since you only have your little claw, fighting turns into a chore. Because your enemies live underwater and endlessly respawn, the odds are really stacked against you immediately. If you don't want to fight, it's already too late, because the creatures will follow you everywhere you go. Seriously. You also need to take into consideration the fact that you're underwater when fighting these creatures. Bombs and anchors have malleable chains and don't always go where you throw them. Ugh, no! In front of you! Right in front of you! Song of the Deep's art style is reminiscent of a children's book or bedtime story. It even holds true through the death animation. acting as though Marin simply saw another option in her story. When you come back, the game also accounts for your difficulties and takes away a few enemies to help you advance. Although the gameplay is non-linear, there are varying sections of the map to explore. Ruins, boneyards, and gardens for treasures, friends, and monsters. My initial impressions of the game are torn. The enemies are fairly uninspired and repetitive for a mystical ocean setting, with a lack of weapons diversity to make it interesting. Insomniac Games could have made this game fun, but for the $15 price tag, should I complain? Either way, sit back and enjoy Song of the Deep's soothing musical score while you dash around the bottom of the sea. Insomniac Games created a casual, action-adventure experience for a low cost. But what are your opinions of Song of the Deep? Let us know in the comments section below.